All right, you're welcome back. It's time for us to get into our community development, segment, and we're going to be talking something very interesting here. Let's go to the twin cities of Sekondi-Takoradi. Now, they have some international partnerships that are looking to help boost the, cultural promotion there in the twin cities of Sekondi and Takoradi. We have a report for you by our colleague Akwesi Nimeje. Let's take a look at this. We'll come back and we'll delve into some more conversations.
This is the heart of the Palermo City, which is basically the central square of the city of Palermo in southern Italy, where I'm surrounded by a lot of tourists from across Europe, and they are all here basically because of the cultural heritage of this city, which has become an attraction to most tourists. And this is what the Twin Cities Sustainable Partnership Project is actually twinning with the city to make sure that it learns from the best practices over here in keeping the culture of the people so that Ghanaians can also have something to be proud of.
Palermo municipality, which is the capital of the Sicily region of Italy, has over 3,000 years of history, making it the cultural headquarters of Italy. The city boasts of major cultural monuments and UNESCO heritage sites, including the Norman Cathedral, the most revered Santa Rosalina, the Norman Royal Palace and the Palatine Chapel, the Giuseppe Sicilian Ethnographic Museum, among others. At the Palermo Department of Culture, the visiting Sekondi-Takoradi delegation, led by its mayor, Abdul Mumin Issa, who were in Palermo municipality to foster exchange of good practices in sustainable and inclusive urban governance under the European Union-funded Twin Cities in Sustainable Partnership Project, interacted with the Councillor of Culture and his team, where they receive assurances of support.
Like we show our history, maybe the same you have to do. Your ancient buildings, your ancient technical, something that is very specific for Ghana, that feel Ghana different in respect of other countries of the same area. We are here. If you can, we help you. So to be with you, help us to open our minds. Thank you.
The delegation were then taken on a tour of some of the historical monuments.
So these and many more of the artwork you see here is what is making Palermo City the capital, or should I say the metropolitan headquarters of Sicily in Italy, the true headquarters of art and culture when it comes to Italy. But how easy or difficult is it for the city authorities to actually keep this artwork and the history of the people of Italy?
Palermo is an unique city in Italy because Palermo has 3,000 years of history, and to maintain this art, these buildings, this temple, these churches is very, very expensive. Is very hard work, and we spent much money, public money, but also with private helps.
The delegation then visited the mayor of Palermo, Roberto Lagala, where they discussed the outline of the Twin Cities project and exchanged gifts to solidify the relationship.
Thank you very much indeed.
Mayor of Sekondi-Takoradi, Abdul Mumin Issa, and the Twin Cities project manager, Isaac Edu, said what the delegation has seen with the cultural restoration in Italy is a wake-up call and a lesson.
I'm quite impressed. Like we have in Sekondi, we also have old cities and old buildings which we can also take advantage of our relationship, sister relationship with the city of Palermo, and also to learn from them how they were able to transform the city of Palermo into a modern Palermo, which is now attracting so many tourists from the world over. And I believe if we are able to do this in Sekondi and part of Takoradi, which are old buildings like it used to be here, I believe we're also going to go a long way to create some tourism attraction in the city of Sekondi, especially the European town.
The other aspect is about the business, and we are very happy to come with the Sekondi-Takoradi Chamber of Commerce, having a relationship with the Chamber of Commerce of Palermo, where going forward an MOU will be established. We even have extensive discussion for us to have an exchange, business exchange expo, which we are looking in the future.
For managers of Palermo here in Italy, the ability of a city to actually manage some of these cultural important heritage calls for collaboration between the state and the private sector to ensure the management of such facilities.
All right, welcome back. And that report there brought to us by our colleague Akwesi Enimije. Now we have the head of PR, Mr. John Last, PR at Sekondi-Takoradi, and we want to find out from him where all of this is leading us. It's very interesting times that we're in. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my brother.
Yeah, welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Hey.
All right. Now, it's a very interesting times ahead, it seems. What initiated this whole conversation and this trip that was taken to Palermo?
Thank you. Good morning to you and good morning to your viewers. Yes, the two cities signed a city relationship, in 2020, all to ensure that both cities promote education, business and then culture exchanges. So, that's how come, this relationship started. And through this collaboration, the European Union also supported us with €3 million project that we are implementing. So we were in Palermo as part of the implementation of the project Clean Cities in Sustainable Partnership, a 3-year project funded by the European Union.
Now, in terms of the action steps, what's next?
Well, they were here in December, so also went there just this month. The next is that, we are trying to ensure that we learn from them. They also share their experience with us on how they were able to turn around abandoned cultural heritage sites, and also ensuring that they turn around the fortunes of the city of Palermo. I believe we all know Palermo. Anytime they hear the name of Palermo and the issue of mafiaism, how they were able to turn around that name into a tourist site. That's what we want them to share with us. We do also have some old sites, abandoned sites, heritage sites, poor communities that we wish we can, using their experience, also improve the living conditions of residents of some of these communities. And also old sites that we believe that with the expertise and support, we can improve them to become a tourist site for the city. So that's where we are all trying to collaborate. Also ensure that together we're able to secure the needed support to upgrade these facilities and ensure that we put them in a shape that also attract tourists into the city of Sekondi-Takoradi.
All right. Now, some people who may be skeptics would say things like, you just went on a holiday trip, really, because ostensibly when you look at the way we've handled old sites, we've literally left them in the hands of the village dwellers around the sites, and literally, they are the ones who sort of man the place. So whenever any visitors come, it is the few villagers around and some, gentlemen around there are the ones who maybe some stories have been passed down over the years, and then they will take the visitors around and collect some money from them. But really, the establishment as in district assemblies, the cities, their regional offices have not really done much with these places. What do you say to skeptics who say that you just literally went on a holiday trip?
Well, that would be interesting for anybody to say. But first of all, if you look at the composition of the team that went on this visit, that would explain the fact that we were not there just fun or for visiting, just a holiday. We had on the team two lecturers, one from Takoradi University and one from Kumasi University. We also had a chief executive of Sekondi-Takoradi Chamber of Commerce, and then the Metro Director of Culture, Center for National Culture, and then the project team. So really, these representatives, we went with them so that they will establish that cooperation with their counterparts in Palermo. On the issue of ownership and the control of some of these sites, yes, that's why we went there to learn from them. How do we able to go around it? Indeed, they appreciate the challenges we do have from this end with relations to involvement of the national level and the regional level in managing some of these facilities. Yes, they also have similar, though not, compared to what our situation here, they are a bit different. But of course, that's why we are ready to share ideas and learn from them. How do we able to go around some of these situations? Indeed, as a team, we met even before we left, and we put in place some measures to make sure that regardless of these challenges, we were able to go around it to make sure that we achieve this objective that we set for ourselves. So yes, if you look at the competition, for the business aspect, I believe another time we will discuss the business issue and then also the collaboration among the academia and the university. So really, we were there for a purpose, and truly, we believe that we're on the right path to achieve the reasons why we went there. For the challenges of implementing these issues, of course, challenges are there for all of us to make sure that we surmount them. So we went there for a purpose, basically on three issues of ensuring that we establish cooperation among businesses within these two cities, academia, and then also culture exchange. And really, we believe that we're able to do a lot of collaboration.
Well, if all turns out well, and we see, a full implementation on the ground, then I guess we'll be very excited for that, because at the end of the day, one of the things that we have more than most countries in Africa are heritage sites, and I think that we need to do much better than we've done in the past to preserve these heritage sites and to make sure that generations unborn can get to experience them, and then we as a country can actually benefit from them, because a lot of people travel to some of these sites in other countries, and really there's nothing there except it's an old site that has been preserved, and the fact that it's been preserved, they are making millions from the fact that people have traveled from all over the world to come and just see an old site that has been preserved well, with a good story and all of that. So I think that if that happens in Sekondi-Takoradi, then it will be good for all of us.
Well, Solomon, I think you are perfectly right. That's the focus, of our visit, and then in the area of culture exchanges, making sure that we get what we have, and also able to tell our story from the perspective of Sekondi-Takoradi. I believe you are aware that the railway industry started in Sekondi-Takoradi, and then through the railway industry, we do have all these other issues. So, these stories have not been told, and that's why we believe that with the support of our partners, we're able to package this story of Sekondi-Takoradi and then sell it the world. Like you rightly said, when we went there were two cruise ships and then one ferry that, brings people in and out of Palermo every day. But it's something that is doable if you're able to make sure that right direction. Not Sekondi-Takoradi alone. There are other cities across the country that also do have some of these heritage sites that have been abandoned. That families are refusing to cooperate with state officials or institutions to make sure we make good. So that's the reason why we believe that some of these developments are possible if we all come together as a stakeholders to make sure that we make a good use of all these facilities. And indeed, we are determined as authorities of Sekondi-Takoradi to make sure that we turn around some of these facilities into a tourist site. Already, we do have some celebrations that attracting people into city. The Christmas Carnival, and then also what we celebrate in the Easter, we call the Yeswa. So already these festivals are drawing people into the metropolis. We believe that having some of these facilities turn into a tourist site will add on to whatever we currently do have.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for speaking to us.
You're welcome, my brother.
I appreciate your time. Thank you. All right, so we've been speaking with Mr. John Last, who is the PRO for the Sekondi-Takoradi Metropolitan Assembly.
Yep.
All right, so
I'm actually excited for them. But the question I have is, like, how will the success of the whole project be measured? Because we always talk.
Yeah.
But no one actually is, thinking about the monitoring, the evaluation, and all that. And I'm just praying that it really works out.
Yeah.
Because having been to, Takoradi and Sekondi, those are old cities, and you would wish that we would really preserve it well, the West.
Yeah, I mean, so there's forts. There's
a lot of forts.
Castles. There's also the railways, like he said, because one of the most intricate railway networks in Ghana is actually in the western region because of the history of the mining, bauxite mining, gold mining, all of that took place there. Back in the day, a heavy railway, set up there. What have we done with all of that?
Exactly.
Where are the trains? What's happened to the railway lines and all of those things? So again, like you said, there's a lot of good talk when it comes to it. But at the end of the day, what's the action on the ground? And listen, we here at Citi have been able to organize successfully year on year for the last 7 years, Heritage Caravan.
Yes.
Okay, without loans, without much of government support. Of course, GTA has been backing us for the last few years, which we really appreciate. But at the end of the day, it's a self-starting, drive that says, you know what? It's an idea. Let's start small.
Let's implement.
Let's implement. Let's push hard. Let's go at it. You see, I think that.
So basically, it's about being intentional.
Yeah, and I think that we can all do it, in our little corners, And I'm happy that there's this partnership that is building up here. I just want to see implementation. I just want to see that the next time I go to Sekondi-Takoradi, in a year's time, in 2 years' time, in 3 years' time, we will see a lot more in terms of preservation, in terms of intentionality.
Exactly.
Because
if it's actually done well, it's really going to support economic growth in that area.
Oh yes, big time.
And
big
development
time.
And all that.
Yeah, and like I was saying to Mr. Last, earlier, you go to a lot of these places, it's the guy in the village there, and the guy in the corner there, who is the person who is like, oh, his grandfather was the one who was doing it, so they passed it on to him, and then it's to his father, and then it's also come to him, and he's his thing.
And then you pay him his 20 cedis, and
then
he takes you around, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's what it is, and I think we can do better than that.
True,
we can really do better than that.
We can do better than that.
We can do better than that.
And you've actually been saying on the show that we have a lot of all these buildings and forts and castles and all
Yeah,
that.
we have
but
so
we're
many,
just sitting on them.
Yeah.
So basically, we
But it's
don't
just
understand
that.
what we have.
No, we don't. You don't. You know, and that's why I hope that it wasn't just
A holiday visit.
a holiday visit and a trip that will come back and we'll just write the notes,
Yeah.
and then the notes
Yeah.
are put on the shelf somewhere in some district assembly, and then that's it.
And that's
you
it.
know. But that there'll be proper hard implementation on the ground. We will see the reality of what the trip achieved.
Well, they said 3 years, and we are here at Citi, so in 3 years, we'll still come back to the
Yeah.
story. We'll look for them, we'll
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
how far they've gone with this
Absolutely.
partnership.
Absolutely.
Yeah.